All welcome to check it out.
Sorry.
It's a collaborative community. On Friday mornings, we open it up. It's called Shop Talk, so it's more of an intense training, personal development when it comes down to what you're looking for. And it's a place for solo agents to really get some other ideas and where they want to go and how they want to operate.
And so tell the address again.
So on Friday mornings, it's 1550 East Missouri. And you can reach out to me. I'll get you some more details and connect you with Garrett, our community manager. And then the garage physical spot is at 8631 West Union Hills. And you can stop in anytime here, Monday through Friday, and check it out.
Yeah, so two different locations. The Friday meeting is not held at the garage.
Correct.
It's held
At Pioneer
offsite
Title.
at Pioneer Title. And the actual office space is the one that's at 87th and Union Hills. So kind of want you guys to know about both of those opportunities, because first of all, we already know that this business is really isolating. This is a hard business to do by yourself. And so sometimes we just need to connect, and we need to have that place where we can just like get some work done, collaborate, ask people questions, learn what they're doing. That's how iron sharpens iron. And so I think this is a really good space and a really good opportunity for connectivity. And so, and it's not, not required, but offered, right? So we want to make sure that we're living out the vibes of what we believe. I mean, part of the reason, if you guys are with Real, I'm not certain that everybody on the call is with Real, but part of that was because we like the concept of collaboration over competition. And we've said that for years now, right? Now it's become a buzzword, which I think is kind of funny, but that was really like my big thing in getting in alignment with Real was we don't need to do this backbiting and infighting stuff. We could actually work together and level everything up. And so we're finally at a place where Steve's kind of built this environment that exactly embodies that. And that's the whole point and purpose. And sometimes if people aren't ready to make the move to Real, that's fine. It's broker agnostic, to your point, right? Like, let's just take the industry and say, hey, let's bring some good people in the industry. Let's learn together. Let's build together. And it's not just for the sake of the investment stuff of what you do.
No.
It's more than that. And so I think that's a really important piece, is people go, oh, it's Steve Valentine, so it's all about the investment stuff. But it's not really all about the investment stuff. It's about opportunities for growth and development. Some of it obviously that's his niche, is the investment side of things and the wealth building side of things, but that's not the sum total of what's happening in the garage. And Garrett, talk to us a little bit about Garrett and what his role is with the garage.
Yeah, so Garrett's really just there to help mentor and guide when you're kind of thinking about different stages of life in this business. As you hear different things, Garrett's there to be an extension of me and help point you in the right direction when you need stuff, so that I'm not always available. So I'm trying to build the support system around me that helps people find the space. And a lot of people ask what the catch is. There's not a catch. The catch is that I tried doing it other ways, which was leading people with money and commission splits. And this way I'm trying to lead with value, which is, hey, if you need me to help you earn money, I'm here, and this is how we partner to do it. And other than that, let's figure out how we change each other's lives and figure out how we get in cadence and rhythm. And is there somewhere where we can work together to create an income producing venture, which is different thought process in this business. And what I'm realizing is that we're all smart in our own ways, but we're not smart in every way.
Always.
And so if you're like me and you have a lot of visions and ideas, but I can't execute anything, I want to be around people that I can see an execution style in a certain way and figure out how to partner with them so that I can scale and expand, which, by the way, each one of you is capable of doing this. If we just take the old school industry way of splits and commissions and things, and realize that if we equate to equal exchange of energy and what contribution is being brought to the table and earn and learn from that capacity, it changes the direction and how things are done together in a co-mission where two or more people are working towards one mission, and that's how we earn a living. It's just a different way of looking at it.
Yeah, that's good. So anyway, if you're interested, how do you want them to?
Just text me and then I'll connect you with Garrett.
Okay, so in our group chat.
Or I'll put Garrett's information in the group chat.
There you go, right there. You win.
I win.
Direct message, how about to everyone?
Yep.
Okay, there you go. All right. So let's move forward a little bit. Karen, I think, has something amazing to put in our chat thread also. We have our invite for our luau, May 31st, 5 o'clock on the dock. We will, 5:30 to 7:30 is a dinner cruise, dinner, dancing, music, little cruise on our lovely ship on Lake Pleasant. This is strictly just for us all to hang out together. Bring people that you want to bring. It's all adults only though, no children, please. Each ticket is $65. You can reach out to me. She'll put the link in the thread or the link in the thread that works. So that you can have access to it. It is a limited number of people. It is 40 people total. So when tickets are gone, tickets are gone. It is partially sponsored by our friends at the Bookspan Baker team. Thank you, my friend Todd, and our friends at Lawyer's Title. And then, I'm going to be your lovely cruise director. So yeah, we're all happy to sponsor this opportunity just to get together. It is, if you haven't figured out, the idea is community. And my purpose this year in 2025, my goals actually are more around getting in alignment with community opportunities, right? Community building opportunities. So this is one of them. So super excited to have that. We'll put the link up. You can register and get your tickets there. $65 a person for a 2.5-hour cruise, dinner and music and just hanging out together. Okay, let's see. Mr. Brookspan, do you have anything you want to share while you're out and about?
Oh gosh, I'll always share something. We're super excited that we get to be part of the big luau. That'll be a lot of fun to see a lot of you live and in person. Totally looking forward to that. I think really the biggest thing that I'm seeing right now is, my question for you is on your conversion rates and how you're doing between clients you're converting and clients that your lender's helping you convert. We've recently switched over to an initial hopes and dreams calls with our clients, and then a on Zoom or in person pre-purchase consultation where we walk them through a scripted slide deck on what's going on around the market, what's going on around from an interest rate perspective, why it's a great time to buy a house, and then specifics over their pre-qualification, what payments might look like. And we've seen an increase in our conversion rates, which were already, extremely high for the industry. So if anyone wants to walk through that, I'd love to run you through what we're doing and show you how we are helping our agents that we work with convert more clients into actual buyers who close.
Awesome. Awesome. Good news. So, Todd, will you put your contact info in the thread also? So if someone should want to reach out because you want to tap into that great big brain of Mr. Bookspan's, this is how you will connect with him. All right. I can't see the chat right now, but Karen, did you put the registration link in for us? Maybe, baby. If not, it's coming. Perfect. Okay. All right. I don't want to waste any time today because I think I want you guys to get as much value out of today as possible. Cheryl has very generously agreed to come and open her playbook. And this is somebody who is 20 years in the business. And I know, can you believe it?
Definitely makes me feel old, but yes, that's true.
Yeah, but it's true, right? So 20 years in the business, not a rookie at this, has a very proven track record, has a good partner in life and in business in Andy. And they work very, very well together. We have lots of historical experience of sharing a mutual wall between our offices when we very first met. And they used to bring their kids to our office in their infant seats, and now they're like freaking adults, it feels like. I can't stand that. They're all big and grown up. But the point of that is this has been their lifestyle, their career, and she's very serious about how to go about building business, always working on improving things and getting stronger, faster, smarter, and better. And so, Cheryl, thank you so much for today and your willingness to teach us all. I'm stoked to learn. So I'm going to pass it to you. You have the ability to share screen.
Okay.
I would tell you guys to make sure that you have the viewer screen up so that you can see all of what she's going to share. But I would highly encourage you to do two things. Take copious notes and ask as many questions as pop into your head. I will do my best from here to monitor the thread, but an open mic is completely acceptable here at Lions and Legends. So thanks for coming.
Okay, can you guys see my screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. First things, I know that most people, when you think of real estate, you think of the role play sessions, and it sounds absolutely torturous. I just wanted to roll off of what Steve's offering. We role play every Tuesday morning at 8:30, our team, and we cover different topics every week. We also do a mastermind on Thursday mornings at 8:30, and it's a different topic every week. And it's just us trying to evolve and get better when it comes to this great industry that we're in. So if anybody is interested in joining in, you're always welcome. We don't care who it is. The bottom line is if you join, just interact, be there and be ready to be vulnerable with us, because honestly, I'd much rather role play with our team and people in our industry than somebody who I'm trying to gain the relationship of being their agent. So it's always opportunity to grow. So everybody's welcome to join us there too. And just a quick feedback on Steve's garage. We have an agent on our team that's been going for months now, and she is expressing that it's extremely valuable. Always take something positive from it. So if you have some availability, pop in, do it. I know that I'm gonna put it on my schedule one of these days when I am available. So it's a great opportunity to just be around other professionals and learn. I mean, it's what we need to do, especially in this crazy market we're in. Also, just the class I'm teaching today is something I've been doing on Real Academy for 2.5 years. So it needs some evolution, and I need to do some updating to it, especially in the buyer's market that we're in today. So if you guys have any feedback or anything that you feel like I could be doing differently or better, like Kim said, I'm always wanting to learn. So let's get started. I think that everybody knows basically what we need to do to gain people's business is for them to know us, like us, and trust us. And that is not going to happen through an AI dripping to them and keeping you in front of them. So definitely having your social media present and knowing or putting out there what your past experiences are with your clients and what your current experiences are. Don't be afraid to put it out there. I am not a huge fan of social media. I would rather it not exist at all, but my husband refuses to let that happen. So I've gone outside of my comfort zone this year, done some professional photography, leveled up all of that, because if I would have listened to Andy 15 years ago when he was talking about video and how present it was going to be in our industry, we would probably have a much more productive and a lot more sales than we do today. So I'm on board. It is what it is. Verification of who you are. And everybody's on social media, including your clients. So if you're not doing any searching to see what those people are doing to be able to better connect with them when you get in front of them at a listing appointment, I highly suggest it. Anyways, let's get started. This is the process that I take before each call. I want to check online sites. I want to see what their current home values are. I want to check and see what Zillow, Monsoon, Redfin, Realtor.com, all of those places are saying, because the consumer's doing that, right? They're checking to see what their value is before you even walk through the door. They know what their neighbors' upgrades are. They know everything about their community. So if you want to take on that listing, especially in today's market, you should be the neighborhood specialist. Do a satellite view, right? Just check and see if there's solar, if it backs up to a green belt, if it backs up to a busy road, all of those things that can affect the value of the home. You should know that. And then the first call starts with you. So definitely be knowledgeable, and with knowledge will help you with your confidence. I think everybody on this call is familiar with some type of personality assessment. DISC is something that we teach our agents and myself. You should know who you're sitting across the table from. If you are sitting across the table from a high D, know that you need to exert confidence, and blunt and outspoken is who you can be, because that's usually how they generally are and how they're expecting people to be with them. A high I is what I rank as enthusiastic. I'm open to communication. I'm very trusting, energetic. So if you don't have a good idea of different personalities, I highly suggest you get a better understanding of them so that you can you can kind of morph yourself, if you will, to the people that you are working with and sitting in front of. These are the questions that I'm asking on the call before I even get to their house, right? Is this an investment property or is it your primary residence? If it's your primary residence, are you looking to possibly turn this into an investment property? If you're not, if you haven't thought of it that way, let's take them down that road, right? Isn't it our end goal to help people gain financial freedom through real estate? I know that's what I would want every single person to say about me that comes in contact with me on a professional level. I help them gain financial freedom, in any market for that matter. So finding out what their plan is, and if they're moving here in the city, great. Let's talk about a simultaneous close. We can do that all the time. If they're moving out of state, let's talk about a referral platform. There's plenty of real broker or real agents across the country. Find them who their next professional is. It takes away that stress of, maybe going to an unknown city, and we can help alleviate some of that strain and stress on the process. We all know that most people will say that buying and selling real estate is the most stressful experience they've ever had. So let's help alleviate some of that by stepping in and taking over some of those tasks for them. What is the time frame of their purchase? Especially in our market today with what do we have? 27,000. Hold on, I just got on the MLS before we started. Active listings and coming soons in the MLS, 27,310. So knowing what their plan is and how quickly they're looking to sell and buy will help us at least come up with a better dollar amount, because we can control the price, condition, and marketing, but we can't control the market. So we need to know what their true plans are. And not only that, but when we're negotiating for them through the process, we're negotiating with intent for our clients, not more so of what we want and what our needs are. Let's see. I'm going to go this class usually was taking me about 45 minutes on Real Academy, but I don't feel like I have that much time. So if anybody has questions or anything, I know we got some seriously seasoned agents on this one. So if you have any feedback for me or anybody for that matter, I'm open to anything that anybody has that works better than what I'm currently using. More additional questions that I'm asking while I'm on the phone. Is it new HVAC, new roof, windows, kitchen remodel, all of those things that are going to have a substantial influence on the value? I want to know that before I pull up to their street and pull up to the house, because I don't want to sit down with them and tell them, hey, I think your home is worth this because it was built in 84 and the previous listing showed that it was all original, and they've now since done a massive amount of remodeling, because that's going to hugely impact the current market value. When you do your satellite view, you should be able to see if there's solar. Sometimes that picture was taken a few years ago and they've added solar to it. Find out if it's owned or leased, because a lease is not going to bring any value at all. If it's owned, is there a loan on it? Because if there's a loan on it, again, that's something that a buyer's going to have to acquire. So truly find out the value of that by asking those simple questions. Do you have solar, owned or leased? Find out what other agents, if they're talking to other agents. Me personally, I like to go to a listing appointment first before other agents get there, because if I can gain their business in that experience with my listing appointment, I don't have to worry about the other agents. And oh, by the way, seller, I can make the call for you. Don't worry. I know you had 2 other scheduled appointments. Let me call them and let them know when my first open house will be. They can bring over any potential buyers they may have. You're already showing value by offering to alleviate that stress too. I can make that call. I have no problems doing it.
That's the best call.
I know.
I'm sorry, Cheryl, you don't need to come to your appointment at 1 o'clock today.
You know,
It's already wrapped up. Nice
Sam
job.
Sam wanted me to call you and tell you that he really appreciated your time on the phone. I actually just took the listing. I'm going to do some open houses this weekend. I'm sure you have a lot of buyers in the area. Bring them by.
Have you
You know,
ever
the
had
ones you
anybody
promised
get
you were
ugly?
gonna tell the seller you had, those buyers?
I just heard another, Cindy, was that you?
Yeah. Have you ever had an agent get ugly with you or disgruntled and rude?
20 years in. The answer to that is hell yes.
I meant like with that call specific,
Yeah,
yes?
and you know what you say? I'm sorry you feel that way. I wish you the best of luck. There's plenty of other homes on the, or the potential sellers out there, and you're gonna do great. Just keep doing it.
Cheryl,
Honestly,
what do you
already
really
said
want to say?
the fuck off.
Thank you. Thank you for being honest.
Thank you. And that just rolls right off my tongue too, by the way.
There
That
she
reminds
is.
me of this.
I
Where's
mean,
the
come
cat?
on, you guys, there's
That
27,000
bum.
active
Yes,
listings on the
Mom. I love
market.
that. I want that so bad.
27,000 active listings. There's plenty of business to go around. Now, with that being said, there's only 9,600 under contract right now. So the good ones will survive in any market, right? So honestly, yeah, you can make that call and then you can tell them, hey, there's plenty of other sellers. I'm sure there's 6 other ones in this community that are looking to sell. Wish you the best of luck. I'll see you on Saturday. Sending a video, text, and your contact information after the call, right? Reassuring them that, hey, this is me. I always prepare an email after I make that call before my listing appointment, and I'm emailing them over the documents that I'm bringing with me to have them sign. I want them to have the opportunity to review all those said documents before I sit in front of them, so we can go over the questions that they have about those docs, not having them read them while I'm sitting at their house.
Yep.
An ideal listing appointment should take, 10 minutes of your own personal listing, but then answering all the questions that they may have, another maybe 45 minutes to an hour, depending. If you don't give them the documents before you get in their house, they're gonna need way more time. And honestly, time is the most valuable thing that we have. So I feel like just alleviating that extra time spent at their house, and then they don't feel so pressured about reading through it quickly, or gosh, I mean, how many times have we read through a listing agreement? We can skim through it and think that it's no big deal. And next thing you know, these people feel pressured and now they need time to look it over. Well, I've already given them the time because I've already sent it.
Hey, Cheryl.
What?
Hey, Cheryl.
Yeah.
How much of that time in that, 45 minutes to an hour, are you setting expectations as to how you work versus going through the process and answering the questions? Or is that another phase of your
I feel
your
like
strategy?
my listing appointment's about 10 to 15 minutes where I'm just covering all the bases with how I work, right? The marketing, the professional photography, drones, all of those things, what we do for our marketing plan, how we can help them with staging, we can help them with hiring professional stagers, all of that. That's about 10, 15 minutes. And then the remainder time, I want to know, I'm going to ask them questions. I want to know about their previous experiences with real estate agents, because most people have had them. And tell me the good and the bad and the ugly, because I want to make note of that. Obviously, every consumer is going to tell us that communication with their previous agent sucked. It always has, it always will. That's just who we are. That's what our industry is known for.
It
So
sucks when you were the last agent to work with them.
yeah, well, you're probably not sitting in front of them again for a second opportunity. So yeah, my listing appointment really only takes about 10, 15 minutes. And then I want to know everything they want. Do you want open houses? How about all this furniture in here? You're moving across the country. Do we need to leave those there? Do you want to include that in the sale? All of the things that's going to take the ease off of them to actually go through the process of selling their home. I'm all ears. And honestly, we should be doing more listening than we are talking.
Agreed.
I'm Googling the seller too, because I want to get to know them. Maybe they're a Detroit Lions fan. It will be an immediate connection for me, and I will sit down and we could talk about all of the great things that come out of Detroit. Something, there's always going to be some kind of connection. I'm a club soccer mom, and I have been for 4 years now, and I probably will be for another 5 years. So maybe we could connect on that, or just Googling the seller and finding a connection is going to truly help break the ice, if you will. And isn't that what we all want when we sit down and get to know them, so that they can know and like us too? Okay, so big day.
Cheryl, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
I don't usually email the listing agreement before the appointment. Do you get a lot of opens and reads on that? Has that saved you a lot of time?
I don't think it's necessarily not saved me time. I don't really track and see if they're like opening and viewing it. I just email it as an attachment. And I'm not filling out all the full details on list price, all of those things. I just want them to get eyes on the document so that they can highlight stuff if we have questions along the way.
Just those sample versions you get from
Yeah, it's a good idea. Like on the confirmation email, put
Yeah.
a sample blank listing agreement just so that's been introduced ahead. It's a good
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah,
And most of them aren't gonna confess that they didn't read the email that you sent them. So when you go through to fill out the paperwork for them, you really can do that overview of the important stuff for them, and they don't feel weird, right? Some of them, if they're a high C, if you know that disc that Cheryl's referencing, they're gonna read every single word of it before you got there. And those are the people that it matters, because the rest of them don't care, they're just gonna sign,
and
honestly.
those are the people that you're like, thank goodness I sent you this before I
Exactly.
got to your house.
Totally.
Because now I don't have to stay here for
Right?
4
If it
hours.
saves a little bit of time on a
A
few of
lot
them,
of
it's worth
time.
it.
Yep. So I don't have to call Andy after 3.5 hours of sitting in these people's houses and say, okay, I should have sent them the email with the contract, because he's always, managing my time, especially stranger danger. And he's like, why is it taking you so long? Are you okay? Should I send some?
I know, it's so hard to make listing appointments shorter.
Oh, yeah.
It's
I think that will take off some time though. And then that's a quick follow-up too. Hey, I just want to make sure you got my email with the listing agreement, and I'll be there tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Do you have any questions right now? Can't wait to see you. Can't wait to meet you, whatever it is. So day of the listing appointment, that's when I'm pulling market analysis, or that's when I'm doing my market analysis, because I don't want to do it yesterday and then the neighbor just went active today, 2 houses down, and I look like a complete idiot for not knowing that their house is on the market. I mean, in our market today, I've been licensed since 05, so seen quite the bit of change over my 2 decades. But I mean, we have 27,000 homes on the market. So if you're not pricing it right, and you're not giving them the advice on what they need to do to modify the condition, or we need to modify the price because you can't afford to modify the condition, who wants to take a listing that they can't sell? I know that it costs all of us money to do all of it. So for me, average days on market are 87 days. Setting that expectation in your listing appointment, just saying, hey, houses aren't flying off the market anymore. We're not at a 7 to 10 days on market. Our seller frenzy days are over, thankfully, because I still have PTSD from those 2 years. But yeah, we just need to let them know, hey, we have 5 months supply of inventory. So if you want your home to sell, like you said, you need it to sell within the next 60 days. These are the things we need to get done. And these are all the items that I'm going to bring with me that day. We have a seller guide that if people don't have one, we also have a buyer guide that we put together on our team. I'm happy to share those 2 things with you. We've done it through a company. So obviously you can't just copy and paste it, but you can at least get an idea of what ours looks like so that you can put one together for yourself. The seller net sheet. So I was on a panel with Becky Garcia a couple of months ago, and she was like, I never leave any of this stuff. If they don't sign with me, I'm not leaving them my net sheet. I'm not doing all this stuff. And I was like, dang it, why am I leaving them my net sheet? Like, I'm leaving them all the work that I've done and then giving them the opportunity to compare it to somebody else's when they didn't hire me on the spot. So that was one of my big takeaways with her was, these are my materials. If you're not going to sign with me on the spot, here's my information, call me, and you know exactly what I've just covered with you. And besides that, the net sheet can obviously change once you sit down in front of your seller and you figure out exactly what their needs are. And now you're looking to make a price adjustment when you initially were going in with this idea of, okay, we're going to sell it for 400. And now this seller is like, hey, I got to get out of here in 2 weeks. Okay, well, looks like we're making a price adjustment, which is going to affect the net sheet. So these are things that I bring with me. The only really material that I leave with the seller is my seller guide.
And can I talk about that for just a second with you?
Yep.
Because I can feel, even though we're not all in the same room, I can feel the vibe of somebody's heartbeat racing, like, how do I extract my stuff back? And what's that conversation look like? And so here's what I would say. Listen, you, some of you are smiling because I'm talking about you. But here's what I would say about that. Listen, you are bringing them information to tell them what you're going to do for them. This is you and your professional services that you're providing. When you leave, you take all of them. The seller's guide is fairly generic, right? It's not about your, real estate acumen necessarily. It's more about them. And so I think it's smart to leave them with something and your contact info if they're not hiring you on the spot. but the rest of it is your actual expertise that they're paying for. But if they don't hire you, they're not paying you for it. And so here's the good news, you pull that stuff back and the next agent comes in and the next agent doesn't have anything, it makes them want your stuff more. You're doing something psychological with them. You're also owning your professionalism. So when you're cavalier about it and you're like, oh, it's no big deal, you can keep all my stuff, all my work, all the effort that I've done. I didn't set this up so that I could set up appointment number 2 to come in and be able to like look at my stuff and then talk a good game about the work I did. I did this so that I could build a trust relationship with the agent or with the client. So I don't think there's anything weird about pulling back your stuff, leaving them what you have that you've designed for them to keep. But it's not, and if they ask you for it, Cheryl, how are you handling? Hey, can I keep the comp page, or can I keep your net sheet? How are you answering that?
I would love to give this to you after I take your listing. This is my work. This is how I've come up with this value. And honestly, I can't give you this without getting anything in return. You can call
And
me
then stop
anytime if you have
talking.
questions. Done.
Right?
Yep.
We have a habit of when somebody asks us an uncomfortable question of over talking, over explaining, right? And we just walk and we end up giving them it anyway because we talk ourselves into it. So know what you're gonna say. Like this is where that script practice, even if you're just talking to yourself in your car on the way there about how you're gonna overcome these things. If you have said it or thought about it beforehand, you're much more equipped to be able to actually deliver that in your appointment, if that's the route you're taking.
Okay, I'm on to the listing appointment. I'm at their house. I want a tour of the property. I'm just gonna find my anchor spot. I love the idea and sitting between both the sellers. First of all, make sure that they're both gonna be there, right? You don't want to go sit in front of the husband who's the stay-at-home dad and doesn't really have much of the decision factor and what's going on. Will boost you up because he sat with you for the hour and a half, but the wife is the one who makes all the decisions, or vice versa, or whatever. I just need both of them to be there. I could be there at 6:30 at night if that's when they need me to be there. Just make sure all the parties are going to be present so that you don't have to make that presentation twice. Again, our time's the most valuable thing we have. So, but make sure you get to the appointment, first of all, at least on time, right? Because everybody in this industry seems to have a 5 to 10 minute gray area where they feel like it's okay if they show up, as long as they show up. It drives me crazy. I'm always early and I want to drive the neighborhood before I get there. I want to see what the pride of ownership's like, run through and see how many broken down cars are down the street, or did they just create a junkyard in their backyard because there's no HOA? All of those things are going to impact value. And how close is it to the grocery store? Is the grocery store just on the other side of the wall? Then we got the, semi trucks dropping off all this stuff, 6 o'clock in the morning. I mean, these are all things that as a buyer's agent, you're going to be having your eyes wide open and recognizing and noticing. So as a listing agent, you should already know this before you take the actual listing. So, and then, your presentation, like I said, mine usually takes about 10 to 15 minutes. Obviously, we need to know our numbers. There was 1,882 canceled listings in the last 30 days. Don't be one of them. Be informative, be realistic and optimistic when you're sitting in front of your seller. You can't sugarcoat the market we're in. You can't change it. You can only, make sure that they're well informed and advise them what they need to do to get their home sold. Then I'm just going to sit there and listen. I'm going to ask some leading questions. What's the most important component for the sale of your property? Is it price, net sheet, convenience of showings? Ask questions about what they want and what their past experiences were like. And then, of course, ask about open houses, because most people think that that's the driving force in what's going to sell their house. And I just sat one open yesterday and did not have one person through, and I've been marketing it for a week. So I think we all know that open houses, I mean, they can bring potential buyers, but I don't think it's going to be the sale or the leading factor in selling their home. When I finish up with my actual listing and I'm there, I'm going to send them a quick text message afterwards, thanking them for their time, and a thank you card. Any questions, any feedback? What does everybody else do? I mean, I know we got a lot of agents on here right now that do a lot of business. So what do you guys do differently? What do you do that is similar? Anything that you're like, light bulb, don't forget this?
Hey Cheryl, I was actually curious when you brought up staging.
Yeah.
I've known a lot of I've heard of a lot of agents doing staging or offering it. I've heard of some agents paying for staging. I I was actually blown away by that. And I've heard of agents, not paying for it and just saying, hey, I have staging and if you want to do that, go ahead. But I was kind of shocked by a couple agents actually paying for it, and I wasn't sure what.
Are
people's
those the
approach was.
agents that have storage units and have all of the stuff themselves, and that's part of their listing, and that's why they're getting paid 4%, 5%, whatever it is on
It's
their side of things?
possible. I don't
Right.
know. I just wasn't sure what like your strategy was behind that, or do you just have companies that you
I
just
just have-
say,
I have companies, and then I'll walk through, and obviously if you can help people and guide them in a way where it's, your delivery is crucial in that. But if you're walking through their house and you're like, okay, well, I'm representing a buyer right now. I can't access your pantry. I need to be able to see inside of here. You know
Mhm.
what? I would like to see more of this space in this living room. Is there any chance that we can get a storage unit and alleviate some of the furnishings that you currently have in here for a temporary
Mhm.
period of time?
Right,
It's all about your delivery. You don't want to insult people, but you know that
Right.
most of these people are comfortable living in their home, and especially people who have way too many bodies in there, they have to accommodate for those bodies. So
right,
people
right,
can't
right,
sit on the
right.
floor. But no, I've always used staging companies, and I don't cover that bill. That's not
Okay.
something that I take on.
Okay.
That's if a seller wants to hire a staging company, here's 3 different recommendations. They all do an excellent job. That's going to be your only cost out of pocket up front.
Okay.
And when you say your only cost, that reminds them that you carry the rest.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And by the way, it's really great to have, if you have a house, a hoarder house, or, I had a listing one time that she owned everything Disney. Everything Disney. There were tchotchkes everywhere. It was unbelievable. They were super expensive and in a Disney way, I guess, beautiful. But it's great when you have somebody else like the stager who tells them this isn't going to work out. Then they're not mad at you. You haven't personally hurt their feelings or offended them. It's the company that they hired that's telling them all the things that you wanted to say, but
Mhm.
tried to find a tactful way. So sometimes you get to divert that aggravation or frustration to somebody else. If you don't think you can be tactful in what needs to be said, or you don't think they're going to receive it from you very well, then it's a really good idea to have that other third party kind of carry that load for you in recommendation, even if they don't end up doing it and they have the conversation. Because that's a trick to encourage them, not a trick, but a tip to encourage them to talk to the stager so that they'll at least tell them some of the things that will reinforce what you may have alluded to or spoken plainly with them about.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I think we also need to consider the market we're in today. Buyers don't even want to smell any type of animal in a house. If they're going to pay full price or anywhere near full price, that house better be stellar. And in a great, easy way to show your sellers what they need to do is bringing up photos of the other listings on your computer while you're sitting there. And there's a darn good chance you're going to be able to find a similar model to theirs that's currently active or is recently sold for the price point that they want. Anybody with turquoise paint walls, red walls, anything that is deterrent for a buyer, those houses need to be, let me drop my furniture and live here if they're going to sell within the first 10 days on market and for anywhere near original list price. So it's really our job to inform them of that. Hey, I really want you to have full price, highest price per square foot in the community. Are you ready to do what it takes to bring your home up to that caliber of what the buyer's expectations are today? If not, then this is where we need to be priced at. I mean, price, condition, location. Those are the only 3 things. That's always what's going to sell your house in any market. So That's and the price and condition are the only two things that truly a buyer or a seller can control. And really, it's our job to inform them of it. It's all about your delivery. These are my first 10 days of when we go on the market. What we're doing, communication with the seller is obviously the number one thing. But out of every listing you get, hopefully you can get one buyer and an additional seller out of it. So your stories, reels, posts on social media are crucial. Send out to all your sphere. We do the deal of the week that Sharon started. So we do that with all of our new listings. We'll put them out there if we do a big price adjustment. All of those things. Oh, I wanted to circle back because one thing that I have been really implementing in my market analysis is just doing a new build search around any homes that I'm going to listing appointments at, because those incentives are so massive that if you're in competition with a new build, you have to know that and go and do a closed recent sales on those new builds, right? And see what the seller concessions look like. Because a lot of those are anywhere from 15 to 25,000 that these buyers are getting from the listing or from the new builds. And we need to be able to sit down with the seller and say, listen, your house brand new is, I mean, it might not be the same exact builder, but there's a builder within a mile of here that's selling your similar home brand new for less money, and they're offering 20,000 so they can buy down their rate. We have to know what our competition is. And I think that when you're just doing your normal market analysis and you're doing your 10-year, year built above and below what your current subject property is, you're alleviating all the true competition. And that's a new build is what buyers are very intrigued by right now because of all the incentives. So don't leave out. And I would probably even do like a 3-mile search for a new build just to see what these builders are offering, so that when I'm sitting there and I could say, hey, listen, I get it. You want this for your house, but look at what the new builds are going for that are literally within 2 miles of here, same school district, same everything that a buyer could be potentially moving into, and they just have to worry about the backyard landscape. All right, this is something that we send out weekly. It's a weekly report that I send out to my sellers. Basically, it's giving them information on where we're coming in for, what we're doing for our online marketing, how much interest we're seeing in regards to how many people are viewing their videos, how many open houses that we've had, what the showing feedback is online, all of those things. So again, it's part of the communication that we should be providing to all of these sellers. And it's the number one consumer complaint about real estate agent is our lack of communication. So just whatever you could do to level that up, I would highly recommend. When we're getting offers and negotiations, you're receiving these offers, and don't forget to circle back to when you sat at their kitchen table and this is what was important to them. That's why we listen during that time, is so that we can negotiate with intent for our clients, not necessarily just for us. So this is what the client's needs, the time, price, furniture, whatever that case, whatever they were expressing then, we can put that back onto the offer. And then if they're now bringing you different changes in what they want, you can say, okay, well, remember when I sat at your kitchen table, this is what you said you wanted. This is what your net's going to be. Has something changed since we sat at the table and I took your listing? Because then you can shift gears, but now you put it back on the ball's in their court and you're like, okay, noted. Now you want something different, which is not shocking. But now you can at least circle back and say, hey, listen, I heard you when I sat at your table. This is what you told me you wanted. Now things have changed. No problem. Let's renegotiate. Post-closing, become your client's pro bono real estate advisor, meaning they should call you for everything. If they need a window cleaner, they need a house cleaner, they need a plumber, electrician, you should be their Rolodex. And for you younger folks, it's this little thing that used to spin around and you would keep all of your point of contacts in it. That's just, I always want my people to call me for everything. I want them to rely on me. I want them to have their mother call me if she needs something. It's huge for me. Client relationships, we obviously do our client appreciation parties. Andy does a great job of staying in front of all of our past clients. I think we touch them about 38 times a year. So that's crucial to stay in front of them. Deal of the week is also a great thing to stay in front of them with. Andy, do you have anything else you want to throw in here? Is he still on here? Yeah, there you
Yeah, he's there.
I'm still here. I didn't go anywhere. No, that's the biggest thing. Just trying, and that's something we're really trying to work on this year is updating our past client follow up and touches. Created this VIP club. I'm sure a lot of people already have it, but just got a whole full Google form, and we're kind of transitioning this year away from being the normal kind of dry, boring. We'll see. It could be complete failure, but instead of your normal verbiage and stuff. Cheryl and I watch a lot of stupid Will Ferrell movies. Like that's how we fall asleep is to Step Brothers
Why
and
do you
Dumb
gotta
and
say
Dumber and all that shit.
stupid?
Well, at the end of the day, it's not like War and Peace or Gone with the Wind. It's not. We're not moving the needle on the old intellectual high IQ stuff here. So I went through and took a lot of our stuff and a lot of stuff that are your basic templated drips for all sorts of different things. And ChatGPT and AI is your friend. So I just told them to take some of these emails that would be going out and put a little bit of in this case, a Will Ferrell spin on it. It's fun when you start playing with things and put it in the tone of so-and-so or the tone of so-and-so. And so one is an email, we are just starting it. So we'll see if it's going to have anything. We're trying to grow a little bit and bring a few more agents on. And obviously for the attraction side of Real, as Kim and Steve have always known, we suck at that. We don't go out, shake hands, kiss babies, or are present on social media at all. So it's kind of hard. They're not knocking on our door. I feel like a fucking HGTV show right now, and I'm waiting for somebody to knock on our door and say, hey, I want to come to Real. Just like with the real estate agents, it doesn't happen in the attraction world. So, like an email, Cheryl's got a set of 3 emails, one right after we go under contract, whether it's her or for one of the team members. That'll go out saying, hey, great job. Congrats on going under contract. Another one after inspections that we're getting closer, and then another one at the end. And it's just a lot more laid back. Hey, I heard Josh or Amanda and Chris, RTC, are saying great things about you. Keep kicking butt. You're doing awesome. And then after close, it's kind of the same stuff. Great job. Congrats on the closing. If you've ever thought about looking at a team or you're looking for some better systems, you're trying to grow, we'd love to sit down and have a cup of coffee or a cocktail, whatever it may be. And if you don't get back to this email, that's all right. We understand you're probably either doing karate in the garage or busy building bunk beds. Have a great day. And it's like people who are going to like say, oh, you're lame as shit. Fair enough. And we are. And that kind of going to the culture thing that Steve talks about, then they're not going to be a good fit for us. There was, when we were at Realty One Group, there was another team in the office and they would come and managing broker would say, hey, they want to join a team, got them set up with you guys and these other guys. And every single time, if they were a fit for us, they definitely wouldn't be a fit for them. And if they were a fit for them, they would have left us about 12 hours into hanging out with us because we just, at the end of the day, we don't have an HR department, thank God, for many reasons, and that being one of them. So you're either going to fit with us or you're not.
Yep.
And so we're trying to find people that are kind of more of that laid back way that we like to live life and just lighthearted and a little bit more fun. So that's the great experiment. So it may work and it may fall on its face, but it's trying something different. That's
But
it.
nothing ever takes the place of making a phone call. Let's be real. I mean, get on the phone and call them.
Or a video text for a happy birthday.
Yep.
Goes a hell of a lot farther than just a text or a Facebook hitting the now magic button of happy birthday, Bob, with little blowtorch or confetti or whatever that shit is they put on there. I mean, just yeah, video text. Happy birthday. Doesn't take long.
Yep.
Bye.
Great job, Andy. Way to throw your 2 cents in there.
Yeah, thank you.
Does anybody have anything that they do differently? You want to add some value, share something that you're like, how can you have missed this? This is the best thing that I've ever done to my listing presentation. Let me hear it.
I just want to say, Cheryl, great job presenting that in all the ways. And I think that those of you guys that are newer in your career to look at what she's doing and the processes they're putting in place, because once you understand this part of the business, you can venture out in some of the other ones. But if you keep squirreling and going into other sides without having things like what Cheryl has put together here in a process, you come and go and you never have consistency in your business. And that's what Cheryl and Andy show is just consistency in their business and that growth, which has led them here rather than, you know, somebody like me, which is constantly chasing the squirrel. I think I had one of these presentations like 26 years ago and have tried it 19 times, but it didn't work in my case, but you don't know until you try. And so I love what they have here in the process. And, you know, I'm just late to the game understanding like, oh, everything should be a process. And so I just love the way you presented, Cheryl. So great job today.
Anybody who wants my seller buyer guides, if anybody wants a copy of this whole presentation, shoot me an email. And I will send it to you. I will share everything that I have because it's not a secret. I definitely want to see our industry get better. So and honestly, I've actually had people over the course of the few years I've been teaching on Real Academy where I've had an agent call me up when he was on his way to his listing appointment and wanted to just role play real quick. And I was like, this is awesome. This is exactly why I joined Real, is because of that collaborative concept. And I was like, let's talk about it. So again, Andy and I do a role play session every Tuesday at 8:30. We do a mastermind on Thursdays at 8:30. It's a Zoom call, so you don't even have to be showered. You know, whatever you got going on, you're welcome to join us. Let's just all level up.
Yeah, this is good, Cheryl. This is really, actually to just kind of piggyback on both of what you got, both you and what Steve just shared. A process for something, gives you the opportunity to truly get better at something. If you don't have a process and you wing it every time, you might be getting better in one place and getting worse in other places. But if you have a system and a process, even if it's rudimentary, after you deliver it the first time, you go, hey, this part landed, this part stunk. This part landed, this part stunk. And then you refine it. That refining process is what gives you a more consistent deliverable so that then you can have a more consistent approach to conversion, you know, about conversion today. And that's, you know, we might not get very many at bats. So when I hear people go, well, my listing, my percentages, I get 100% of every listing I go on. Okay, well, that means you're not going on enough listings, right? It means it's your grandma's best friend's next door neighbor, and it's all the old ladies have been talking about you. So of course you're going to get the listing, right? So I think when you look at something like that, you better get, I mean, if you can't get those listings, good grief, you should just get out. You should tap out, right? But the other piece of that is to really look at it and say, gosh, if I can go on these listing presentations and I can see where just physically looking at someone, you can see that whatever you just said landed, right? Like, I don't know why my picture's not up. It's weird.
Oh,
Something's
sorry.
happening. So I'm not trying to ignore you. There you go. Sorry. And it's not vanity. I get mad when people are on and don't have the thing. Anyway, I digress. Point is, you can see through body language that landed, like you can see understanding. And so you're like, oh, they got that. And then you can see when they're like, man, I said that and I thought that was super powerful and it didn't go anywhere. Okay, next appointment, you're going to change that up. But if you don't keep a record or you don't build a system or process, you don't know which things are working for you and which are not. So you might be scrambling out the piece that was really effective and not changing the part that wasn't. And so if you can just look at it like this is, the rest of the world doesn't know what's happening. This is your internal learning process, but you're not actually learning if you're not tracking. And if you're not tracking, then you can't hone it, and then you're not helping your conversion rate. And by the way, the more consistent you get in that and the stronger you are at converting, the easier it is for you to want to go chase the business, because now you're comfortable with this process that's working, right? Versus like every time I'm winging it. So I'm always nervous. I get antsy before I go on a listing appointment. What if they ask me questions I can't overcome? Well, if you're not tracking anything and you don't have a system for delivery, you're never going to get better. So you're going to stay in that hamster wheel. And so I want to just encourage you. That's why I asked Cheryl to come share her listing process and presentation, because you could see, and you should be asking her, by the way, for this slide deck, if you didn't take really good notes. It's still, no, I don't know what's happening. Anyway, sorry. you should be asking her for that because at least it's a pathway for you to see. He's out. I know it's frozen, so they don't even see you
what the
wave.
hell is
I don't know, but
happening?
you're fired. Your technology sucks at the Valentine group.
Shut up. You freaking freebie user. Camera probably died.
Could have done it on my own, but okay, no problem. I mean,
still. Bye, love you guys. Have a good on the call.
you gotta go. Love you. See you. Bye. It was good to
Thanks.
see you.
Meatloaf.
I don't know. I still look like a big black square. So, you know,
Black
shut
Lives
up,
Matter.
Valentine. Get out of here. All right. Anyway, we're fine. Oh, look, hey, just in time to say we're late and it's 11:01. I love you.
For coming to Lions and Legends. I hope you have the very, very best week ever. Cheryl and Andy, thank you both so much. Appreciate that. You have Cheryl's contact info. If you didn't capture it from this and you have mine, let me know and I'll get it to you if you need it. All right. Have a happy week, you
Have
guys.
a great week, guys.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Meatloaf.
Bye, guys. Bye. And done here.